Howdy, folks. It's Rick Yates over here at Zedsphere. I hope you all had a fantastic Easter weekend. This is just a really quick video to give you a rundown of the results from last week's State of the Industry survey during coronavirus. So we're in we completed week 3 last week. We had really good number of responses. I think it was 120. So I'm going to jump straight in here and I'll take you through the results. So let me share my screen. Okay, so the main gist of this is that it's getting a bit quieter now for MSPs. Up until the back end of last week, we had IT providers who were saying, I'm still a little bit, some of them were still a little bit busier than last week. There was a bit of an increase, obviously, but this week it's been pretty quiet over the last kind of 7 days. And this was something that we expected with it being Easter weekend and the 4-day week and everything. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week to see whether anything changes. But you've got 70% of MSPs that were quieter than last week, which is a big indication as to where the market is at the moment as a result of coronavirus. We've got 46% of MSPs that have said some of their customers have kind of cancelled or paused a service, which I'm sure is having a big impact. And this one was about customers requesting extra stuff versus last week. So obviously there was this big influx of requests around home working and remote connection and that kind of stuff. And we really wanted to monitor, like, when that kind of hump was over, what are customers requesting? Here, 63% of customers are not requesting additional services. So this is really when MSPs need to take leadership and start working with their customers to let them know that they're still around, they're there to help, and if possible, let them know about anything that might be of use in their kind of portfolio. We had the question of, if people are in need of anything additional, what are they? Let's just flip over to the word cloud here. So it's still very much around remote working and business productivity in a remote environment. Teams came up quite a lot this week. Office 365 was mentioned quite a few times. Remote working, of course. And I have seen a bit of an increase in security this week. That's the one thing that has started to kind of come to the fore a little bit, was people wanting to secure their environments while they're in this remote working period. Now, this is a really interesting one. So what have your customers mostly needed from you? And we've got a really high return on business as usual. So this has just been steadily growing over the last 3 weeks. Week 1, this was right down here. Week 2, it was kind of here. But now it's either setting up remote working or business as usual. So kind of like just supporting those workers while they're at home. So hopefully this offers a little bit of reassurance to MSPs that might be worried that, oh crikey, no one's asking us for anything at the moment. It is a trend that's existing across the market. So this question is about what can you offer your customers that they might not be aware of, and it was really to get a steer on, in this period, what kind of services can you add into the packages so that you can kind of keep net new revenue coming in. And a more suitable kind of like remote connect solution or VPN type connection was still high on the list. And we've certainly seen that over at Zedsphere. We've had loads and loads of requests for our Perimeter 81, fully software-defined VPN. So there's still a requirement, even though we've been in this now for almost like a month. There's still people out there that are looking for decent, secure, high-quality remote connect solutions, and moving data off physical locations and into the cloud. Like, is this an opportunity to do some projects around kind of just future-proofing your data backups and your data management and that kind of stuff? So that's also something that we've seen quite a bit of a interesting. We've got our Red Store product that offers live recovery from archiving and stuff like that. So those are the kind of the 2 things that we've seen jump up. But apart from that, the key thing was really just being a proactive support to your customers and letting them know what they need to do. And, that can be a number of things, and maybe we'll have a little chat about that at the end. So placing staff on furlough, this has shot up quite a bit since last week. We've got 40% now have placed staff on furlough, and we've got a further 10% thinking they might need to place staff on furlough this week, or thinking about placing staff on furlough this week. So we're looking at potentially, 60 or 70% of MSPs having placed staff on furlough by the time we get to the end of this month, which is massive amount of businesses doing that. But it does reflect the trend, across the full economy for sure. So what are you going to help? What's going to be useful to you as an MSP and to your customers? Still, this is something that's really key. Businesses are looking for ways to diversify. MSPs looking for ways to diversify their services. And again, insight on how other IT providers are doing, which that's the purpose that this survey wants to serve. And this is the staff productivity, remote working. How can you kind of like streamline that situation for customers? So this trend isn't really changing at the moment. So this is really interesting because this has changed slightly about how people feel their business will be affected by coronavirus. And actually, MSPs saying that they think they will grow as a result has increased since last week, and so has we don't think it'll have an effect. It will neither affect us negatively or positively. So this is really quite reassuring, actually, to know that some MSPs think actually we're going to come better out of this, whether that's through being more efficient or selling extra products or whatever. That might be quite interesting to explore. But we are down from, I think it was 10% last week, down to 6.7% MSPs worried that this might put them out of business. So some really interesting statistics there. So we've got the credit crunch. I mean, it's no secret that you have some of like the larger resellers and stuff that have credit ratings reduced and that kind of thing. So the key worry is that customers will not pay their bills. I mean, at the moment, in terms of us as a kind of like a central point in the MSP space, we're serving hundreds of MSPs, and we are not really seeing anything at all around bad debt. MSPs are still paying all their bills, and that is kind of reflected here. I mean, you've got 39% of MSPs that are saying that customers have either asked for extensions or have not paid on time. But we don't. That could be one customer. So it's not necessarily all of their customers, obviously. So and then we've got to take into account the fact that there might have been a predefined bad debt situation anyway, which is often the case. So we thought that this would be higher. We thought that, and let's see what happens as we head into the following month. It looks like this lockdown is going to continue for another month or so. So let's see how that changes. That was question 12. So, the results are kind of going in a way that we expected them to. There's not too many surprises. I think, one surprise is that more MSPs think that this is more of an opportunity, which is fantastic, that kind of attitude is there. And MSPs are still looking for ways to diversify their service offerings. And, my advice would be just to talk to your customers. Do what you can to help, not necessarily try to sell them anything, but, stuff like free training and that kind of stuff, is a kind of thing that just gets you in with your customers and makes you sticky. And you never know what kind of conversations might come out of that. I'd recommend taking a look at, moving data to the cloud. We've got a nice product that you can do that with, which is Redstore, and the software-defined VPNs has certainly been very popular for us over the last couple of weeks. We've had crazy demand for that. So we'll leave those details in the blog below this video. So that wraps it up. Feel free to reach out to me if you've got any questions about these results. Always happy to chat with MSPs and other industry leaders. Hope it's been useful, and enjoy the rest of your week, and catch you next time. Bye for now.